How we doing, Bears? It's Jamesy here from the True Blues Loyal. This is something different that we've got for you tonight. This is the Rangers Bars for Gers podcast, and tonight I am being joined by William from the Bristol Bar. How we doing, my friend?
Good evening.
We're joined by Wilma from the Ibrox Bar in Benidorm. How are you doing, Wilma, out in Spain?
Very well.
Excellent. We're also joined by Stan Gordon from the Stonefield Tavern in Blantyre. How are we doing, Stan?
Good. All good.
We're also joined by John from the Gallant Pioneer down in Blackpool. How are we, John?
Great.
And we're also joined by Kenny from the Bluebells Bar in Lanzarote. How are we doing, Kenny?
Evening all. How you doing, pal? Yep, fine, thanks.
Excellent, and thanks to everybody who is tuning in tonight. Thank you very much. Giving up a wee bit of your Saturday night, wherever you are, or Saturday afternoon, or Saturday during the day, wherever you are in the world. Sorry about the dogs barking in the background. They just want to come in this podcast as well with everybody, but they want to get their feelings crossed when we win title number 55. So thanks to everybody who's tuning in tonight. This is something a wee bit different.
It says Mike went.
I believe William has a special giveaway tonight. He has Stephen Gerrard's painted picture.
Yeah, James, your mic's just cut off there, so half the things you say we missed.
All right, okay. So,
Which
as I say, thanks to everybody who's joined in tonight. I don't know what happened there with the mic, but thanks to everybody who's joined in tonight. This is something a wee bit different than we do normally. Obviously, we talk all things Rangers. We've been joined, as I said, by Bears bars all over the world. So, as I say, this is for Rangers Bars for Gers podcast, episode 1. And as I said, instead of having to be going to Benidorm, enjoy the sun, enjoy that nice cold beer, and watching the Rangers. Also, as well, when we go to Lanzarote, we go to Kenny's pub at the Bluebell. We're not being able to go there either. And as well, the Gallant Pioneer, everybody was heading down there for old fun because there was a alcohol. The other pubs were shut here and you couldn't get a drink. And John said, please don't come down here. We're not open. And then as well, Stan out in Blantyre, out in the Stonefield Tavern as well. And William from the Bristol Bar. So as I say, thanks to everybody that's joined in tonight. And as I said, William, you have a special giveaway, I believe, as well tonight. It is a Stephen Gerrard hand-painted picture, courtesy of the Bristol Bar tonight. So get involved in the comments. Let's see everybody getting involved, and we will pick a winner out at random, as we always do on our podcast. So let's kick it off. Let's kick it off with Kenny. Kenny, do you want to tell the Bears who you are, what bar you run, and how it's affected your business?
Yeah, I'm Kenny. I've got the Bluebells Bar in Puerto, Carmen in Lanzarote. The pandemic, take it you're talking about, it's affected us a lot, same as everybody. For us, we get shut down, complete lockdown in your house, basically for 3 months. March, April, May. Halfway through March, April, May. We let it go back out in June. Business reopened towards the end of July. So we missed a couple of key dates. We were only open a week, and then they introduced quarantine coming back to the UK. So people who came here had to quarantine when they went home. So that was disruptive. And then it's just been kind of hot, cold, really. Pretty poor. We had a wee thing going for the Old Firm game as well. We did get people across. We managed to get for a long weekend. We're in the Scottish sun, actually. That was quite funny. The same weekend as John was trying it. We had a bit of damp squib Christmas, but it was all right. And now we're on curfew at the moment. You've got to be in the house for 10. The pub's got to shut at 6. And it's just hoping it goes away soon, same as everybody.
Exactly. And John from the Gallant Pioneer, how are you down in Blackpool? How is it affected, obviously, down there as well? Everybody was heading down there at one point to watch the Old Firm game.
Yeah, they were, yeah. And the messages were incredible. You know, people, you couldn't get a bus, and people were saying there's 40 of us coming and stuff. It was bonkers. And I think we got up to just shy of 1,500 people. And we had to just call it then. And then the next day, obviously, Nicola mentioned it on her broadcast, telling people not to come. And that was it. We've been closed since. We've been closed ever since. But luckily, it's gave us a chance to do some work in the pub with being shut. So
I think you had to do that, John, that weekend. It was just there was too much focus on it, wasn't there? Too much of a spotlight for you.
Exactly.
Aye.
Exactly. And Stan, how has that affected the establishment out in Blantyre? How has it been for you as well?
It's been a nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I mean, William's the only one that could maybe back me up here because Wilma and Kenny's abroad and John's down south. But for us, the Scottish Government just didn't give us any help at all. I mean, see, even the wee time we were open for March to July, to October there, they were sending people around to look in the windows and all that to see if you had too many people sitting and stuff like that, you know. And they've shut you down. And you know, Rangers pubs, so we're getting our turn when the pubs are busy. So then we've got to tell guys that are regulars, you can't come in here for a game, come in after the game, and it just wasn't right. And then obviously we go shut again. But I'd been saying to the boys earlier on there, I feel this time if it opens back up again in May, I would shut till everybody's allowed back in normally, because it's no good trying to hide and a couple of extra people in for the sake of them shutting you down.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
every single weekend they were in.
Yep.
Every day of the weekend they were in, just checking
to make sure
everything was in place. We did.
I remember one of the times I was doing, John.
Yeah.
I remember one of the times I was doing, John, and you phoned out to me, and there were a queue outside because the football was on, remember? And they had told you if the people outside didn't distance themselves 2 meters from each other, you were getting fined so many £1,000, and the person on the street would get fined 200. But that's not your job outside. You'd never asked them to queue there.
Exactly. You can't police that yourself as well. Exactly. I totally agree with that.
Aberdeen, the first game of the season, and they said that there had to be 2 meters in the queue as well. So myself and Jim, we were doing early, putting up. The queue was near enough away around to the pleasure beach, and I'm not exaggerating. It was away around the corner. It was incredible.
No, honestly,
that's mental. That's mental.
As soon as you turn your back, people on there, they're not doing 2 meters, are they? So you're fighting a losing battle.
100%. And Wilma, how's it been for you out in the Benidorm with the Ibrox bar? How's it been out there for you? Can you hear us, Wilma?
Oh.
I think she's dropped out, maybe. Right, William, we'll come to you.
I think one was just put a photo up and went away.
So, William, obviously we know what's happened up the road up in Duke Street. It's really affected your business up there as well, mate, 100%.
Before I start, I'm under strict orders to give Lindsay Glenn a shout out. She says hi to everyone, and nobody's done it yet. So if I don't do it, she'll probably kill me. So Lindsay before I start.
There you go.
And then we open.
Oh, there she's there. There's just a wee bit of a lag heading towards Benidorm, big time. There just seems to be a wee bit of a lag heading out there. So, Wilma, if you can hear us, just come in and we'll hear. We'll keep it clear for you. On you go. No, there just seems to be a wee bit of a lag there with Wilma. So, Wilma, what I'm going to do is we're going to remove you and then try and come back in with the link that we sent. Okay. Right. So, William, Bristol Bar, right? Obviously, everybody knows where it is in Duke Street. Obviously, there's massive things that happen inside that pub as well. Even if it's on top of the roof, then that's still all right. Do you know what I mean? But it's affected your business really bad. Well, it's affected the Bristol Bar and like other pubs as well all over too. And it's just one of these things. William, you've implemented quite a lot of things up there with the bikers and screen protection and everything as well. I've seen the photos online. It was very well done. So, William,
I'm sure Stan will agree. When we go open got allowed to open back up in July, there was very little guidance on what you can and can't do inside the pub. So every pub had to make it up when we went along. So we all done all different things, thinking we were doing the right thing. And as soon as we opened back up, they came in and went, nah, that's wrong, and shut it back down. So when we opened up, we put screens and queues and that inside. And the first day we opened back up, we had 6 police officers come and basically shut us down for 6 hours until we removed half the queues inside the pub. Don't get me wrong, we put faces in the flare and stuff like that, so we kind of done it to ourselves, but they never had any guidance for us. And obviously opening back up, as you were saying, the police were in every game, every weekend. They were in, champing at the door, literally just barging their way in, and going in, looking about, asking what people's names were, making sure they were for the same household and stuff like that. So we were literally getting penalised every way they could get us, basically. And half the time you were sitting in London, even if there's any point in opening.
Did you get fines? Pick up fines, William?
We never got any fines. I'm surprisingly never that first weekend we opened. And obviously, don't have to name it, but we put like faces and stuff like that in the flare. So we kind of brought attention to itself. We ended up in the paper and stuff like that. But we thought we were putting queues inside for like queues to go to the bar, queues to go to the toilet, and they literally walked in and says, "No, you can't have queues inside." Bearing in mind, when we put the queues in, we reduced our capacity by like 3/3. So when they told us to take the queues out, we could then put more people inside the premises. So it benefited us a lot, with taking all that out. But there was no guidance at all. They never came out and says, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that." It was just like open back up, social distance, and that was it. Then 6 weeks later, we need to put masks and all that stuff on. They never told us that at the very start.
See, we had it's quite funny you saying that, because we had similar but different, because when we opened back up, there was a 70-page document in Spanish, obviously, and kind of telling you what to do, but they were just broad guidelines. So you did what you thought, and you picked up and you listened to other bars and you watched what other places were doing, and that's what you thought. But we've honestly, I mean, touch wood, I don't know what attempt fate. We've never had a visit in 9 months since we reopened by anybody for anything to check what we're doing is right.
So it must be an absolute nightmare for every one of you to know as well. Like when they're coming around and having to check inside and looking in the windows. You say Stan in Bristol.
Literally the day of the Old Firm Day there, we were closed and we had 2 police vans full of police sitting outside the pub the full day. Bear in mind we were closed the full day. 2 riot vans sat outside the pub for no reason. That's mental. And one time
we hear about it is when like a pub along the road or a pub in the same town, suddenly you hear somebody get a $3,000 fine or a $5,000 fine for XYZ. They don't come and see me warn you. They just slap it.
Show up.
Then everybody just gets a fright and tries to find out what happened to them, and then it's completely random. It's no good, to be honest with you.
There's no consistency.
I mean,
sounds familiar.
The first lockdown, the one for March, all the regulars in my pub had asked us if we fancied doing some food parcels for some of the old age pensioners in the pub. So it ended up we were doing 60 old age pensioners parcels. I'm talking about enough food to keep a pensioner for a week. It was massive, big boxes of food, bread, milk, and about 5 or 6 dinners, a couple of sweets, cakes. Everybody was baking. It was brilliant. But see what we done is it was that big that we were opening the pub on a Wednesday, and everybody was delivering the food on a Wednesday, and then on a Thursday morning, all the volunteers, all the regulars for the pub would deliver them and all the pensioner sources. With the police about 5 times at the pub, people driving by and saying they've got that pub open, and we weren't. And ended up the police coming in and went like, "Look, you know what you are doing, but it's just people going by and they see the side door open and they're saying they're in drinking," and that's what you were up against. It wasn't good.
That's the thing. Someone as soon as they see anything and then they think anything's untoward, Stan, they'll just lift the phone and that's it, and then you'll get yourself obviously people into trouble and stuff like that as well. But if you think about it as well, there was a few public houses doing like takeaways and stuff like that as well from the town. Did any of you manage to do that? John, did you doing a Blackpool get to do any of that sort of thing or deliver anything or like that?
We never bothered with takeaways. It's where the pub's situated. It's down in the tourist area. near the
Yeah.
Pleasure Beach, near South
Yeah.
Pier. People wouldn't have came just for a takeaway fine. It's,
Just even the fact that the locals as well wouldn't have came in for a wee. You know what I mean?
To be fair, the locals did support us through the lockdown. Like the boys for the lodge and stuff, they done similar to what Stan was doing. They were handing out lunch packages every week. It was like 100 and odd parcels every week, and they were going around care homes and places like that with them for staff. So that was quite good, but it's at the time of year as well. It wouldn't have been
Substantial.
a good idea. To be
And
honest.
what about you, Kenny? Did you do anything like in Lanzarote? Like, obviously, did you do anything like that?
We did, aye. Well, we've got a Rangers supporters club based within the pub, the Lanzarote Loyal, and we obviously don't go to away games as a club very often. So we do fundraising and so on, and we are quite big on a kind of charitable aspect. So around about Christmas time, there's a local food bank here just along the road that was getting quite a lot of attention. So the supporters club put in quite a substantial sum there. We also did a bit of research and we sent money over to a charity called Loaves and Fishes in East Kilbride, who do a similar sort of thing. We sent money to quite a few places around Christmas, as well as trying to help some people locally who were in need. So yeah, we did what we could.
Excellent. Stan, what about you? Did you do anything like that at all in regards to like, the takeaways or anything like that, or with the pints and stuff?
No, there were a pubs that done it for us in Blantyre, and we never bothered giving it a try. Because what happens here is, the way I've seen it, is you've got people furloughed and your pub shut, so you're not paying any rates. You're trying to cut your electricity and your gas bills and all that down. So see you open for a weekend to do takeaways. You take people off of furlough for a couple of hours work. It definitely wouldn't work for me at all. They actually had a wee van going round for one of the pubs in Blantyre. I thought it was brilliant. It was called the Swally van. And they went round, they had kegs in the back and they were delivering them, which I think they done up right, you know.
Good idea. Good idea. So that's a good idea. And Wilma, can you hear us all the way over in Benidorm? Can you hear us? I think there's a wee bit of a lag here. Nah. Definitely not.
Just so you know, Laura, Wilma's daughter, just messaged saying there's a massive delay.
Right.
So,
okay. So what we'll do is we'll just tell Wilma to come on another time, and we'll get Wilma back on, and we'll just go with myself, John, and Stan and Kenny. Wilma, if you can hear me, thanks for coming on tonight. There just seems to be a massive delay in the stream coming over to you. So what we'll do is we'll I don't know if it's the device or the internet that you're using at the moment, but what we'll do is when we do the next one, we'll re-invite you back on, okay? You can hear it, it's just coming and going.
I'm doing everything.
There just seems to be a wee bit of a time delay there with Wilma. So, William, do you want to message her? Just you message her and tell her we'll get back on again, all right?
She said she's going to try join back in a mobile.
Right, okay, that's fine then. I'll just remove it then for this one and try, all right? So, obviously, we know that you did a few, there was posts on your page as well up at the Bristol. You've done a few takeaways in regards to, what was it? Was it best or something you were giving away?
Well, basically, the first lockdown, as Stan will tell you, any alcohol and out of date, fully unopened, tenants refunded us back. Obviously, the credit back on our account, but obviously the second lockdown there, tenants are refunding you back for the kegs.
Right,
so
okay.
You've got going out of date, because out of date and that you've lost the money basically. So we had a few kegs going out of date at the end of December. So we just basically opened the pub up the week before Christmas. Basically giving away 3 pints of tenants lager and best. So I think it was like 800 pints of tenants we gave away just to get rid of the stock. Because we're only getting money back for it, so you thought it was going to waste. Didn't stink.
Well, that's the thing as well. There would have been lots of bears trying to get involved with that as well, and just basically like do these things. But it was just the fact as well that everybody was kind of like choking for a wee beer now and then. I mean, the supermarkets and obviously the wholesalers have absolutely been coining it in because nobody can get to these places. Obviously, your pubs and that as well, and also going abroad and holiday. But I know myself, like a lot of people have been buying these perfect draft beer pumps and the sub beer pumps and things like that. So these people who make these people have been absolutely probably inundated with orders and getting all the kegs sent out. I mean, my neighbour's got 2 next door, so he's not been able to get to the pub and things, and then he's bought 2 of them. I know my brother has bought 1, and they cost over like something like £200 and £280 for these things, you know. So it's been absolutely mental. Wilma.
See, I think this is a wee bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Is that a lot of
Yeah, they were working.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. So, Wilma, how's things been out in Benidorm?
I think
how's it affected your
maybe
business?
It's my business is suffering dreadfully, but I'm working my fingers to the bone doing takeaways, fish and chips, Sunday dinners. I've got no staff anymore, but I'm doing it all. But we're closed until the 15th of February, until the police.
And that's
say
Ibrox
we're
Bar
allowed
in Benidorm.
Bar in Benidorm has been closed for a few months now. There's no one there. Benidorm's dead, absolutely dead. But we're in the Albia, there's people who live here, and they're coming and using the bar when we're allowed to open. But they're coming and getting takeaway drinks. So we're doing what we can to keep everything going. It's hard work, but we have to. Oh, we have to close. But the Ibrox bar got shut down in July because they said we were breaking COVID rules, and which we weren't. We were doing everything we could. But then on the 12th of July, the band started and everyone got up to take pictures like we forget. So someone reported us, took pictures, reported us, and they fined me €4,800 and closed me for about 5 or 6 weeks. I had to get a lawyer on it, so that cost me more money. But we did get open again, but it just wasn't worth it. Everyone had gone by then, and we've got no one coming over. So it's when I go down there, I went down there to dress it for Valentine's Day, if any of you've seen it on Facebook, because they're going to give us a grant, €500, if you dress the windows. So we did it. And so you might have seen it on Facebook where we go down there and we do things. But it's sad. I want to cry. The Ibrox Bar's my baby. Without the Ibrox Bar, I wouldn't have the Orange Tree, and we wouldn't have had LA Hair and Beauty. But we'd carry on. We keep going. There's going to be good days ahead.
And Wilma, do you have a curfew as well there, the same as Kenny and Lanzarote?
Yes, 10 o'clock.
Is that the whole of Spain?
The house at 10 o'clock.
Is that the whole of Spain? Is that include the whole of Spain doing that?
No, not the whole of Spain. There's some places that it's Valencia region. We have to be home for 10 o'clock and all the bars are closed. And when we're out during the day, we're not allowed to talk to anyone unless it's one person. And even if you're on the beach, you have to wear a mask. You have to wear masks all the time.
Winnie Quattrell saying that can't drink alcohol in the streets by new law now around Benidorm and Albir area now as well. So that's obviously something to do with the pandemic that's happening. You're not allowed to do that, which is obviously quite sad. Obviously, back going through over there as well. I remember going over to Benidorm many years ago and then visiting Ibrox Bar.
They're moving everybody.
You were able to do that, but obviously now saying there's a new law in place saying that you can't do that. That's
that's what they're doing.
Oh, she's away. They're saying as well.
I don't know what it's like for you, Kenny. Obviously, myself, Stan, and John, that we're getting kind of government help. Obviously, to sustain. We're getting kind of grants. So you're getting stuff like Lanzarote if these are closed. We're not getting much.
a wee bit. Nah, we got a wee bit, to be honest with you, but it was barely anything. The problem we've got just now is that we can only open till 6 o'clock, as I said. So you're open
And
like
Penny, sorry to interrupt. Are you allowed to serve alcohol till 6 o'clock?
Yeah, we're allowed to sell alcohol till 6 o'clock, but we're not allowed to use the. What?
I said, Stan, do you want to go here next week?
Okay. Aye, we're allowed to sell till 6 o'clock, but so then, as I was saying earlier, then everybody has to leave, and then you're not allowed to use the inside of your premises at the moment. So you're only allowed to use the outside, which is all right for us because we've got quite a good balance. But you're only allowed to use 50% of your outside, and that depends on the paperwork and your license. So, cut a long story short, we're allowed 14 people on our terrace, which is just.
And how many people would normally fit in there, Kenny?
Fit in there?
Aye, on a good day, about 3 million.
On a good day. I'm not telling you many in there, but yeah, you can without doing 2 metre distancing and all this nonsense, you can comfortably get 50 people on the terrace comfortably, and the same again inside. So you can comfortably have 100 seats between inside and out. But at the moment, we're limited to 14. So that's a bit of a restriction, and because we're open and functioning within these restrictions, you're not really entitled to much because you're not like shut. Do you know what I mean? So you really need to be shut to get benefits, but they're kind of allowing you to open, but you've got hands tied behind your back, if you like.
Aye, of course,
definitely. It's no great, to be honest with you, but at least we're open. I don't want to sit here and moan because the boys back home are actually closed, so at least we've got something, you know.
I know. John, so the Gallant Pioneer just seems as if it's sitting there empty then, no doing anything, everything's dubbed up then, I take it. Are you doing anything, or are you getting in cleaning or anything like that at all? Are you kind of getting yourselves prepared for April already? Because obviously there's been an announcement, I don't know how true it is, the fact that the government down south are looking to get pubs open back up in April, but not allowed to serve alcohol at the moment. I don't know if that's gospel or not.
It's going to be May that we'll be allowed to open again, I read.
Right.
Well, no, we've been busy. It's like during the first time they locked down, we knew that the toilets were an issue. They just weren't good. They weren't good enough. So we demolished them. We took them down. We demolished the whole place and put new toilets in, and they're brilliant now. This time, we've cladded all the outside. We've got new signage and new lights, and it's gave us a chance to do some work, to be honest. What else have we done? We've got some new ceilings. We've got rid of ceiling tiles and put new ceilings in, and we've extended the bench seating in the back room, in the back lounge. We're making that better. What else have we done? And then we've got a planning application in at the minute for a roof terrace at the back.
That'll be great.
And I've showed.
It looks brilliant.
It's huge. So that's due. I think it's the 17th of February. But so far, we've not had any objections or anything like that. So we've just been working.
John Turner put a comment up here saying open just in time for lifting 55, John. So definitely. So the thing is as well, Stan, we know what's happening here in Scotland, obviously, on the daily updates. If you watch it on the television, I know everybody is watching because they want to know what's happening with their businesses and people getting back to work and so many vaccines and stuff like that being given. I mean, a couple of my family members have already been given the vaccine, their first dose as well. So they're kind of obviously as well, but they're still told to be wearing face coverings out and about as well. So it's not really they're saying that they can see a road out of this, Stan, but it's just going to take time. I personally think that, and I kept saying in my podcast as well on my channel, with the boys who come on and join me about this season, I didn't think we were going to get into Ibrox, and that's still my main thought as well. I don't even think that we're going to be inside Ibrox, and I know it's sad to say, I can't see Ibrox full again until at least maybe next year, February, and by the time everybody's vaccinated, and then they know But with your pub as well out there in Blantyre, what have you put in place? Have you done any work? Have you done any kind of renovations the same way that John's been doing?
Aye. At the moment, now I'm going to get the gantry ripped out. I'm going to renew the full gantry. I wasn't happy with that. I'm going to get another mural on one of the walls, and I'm going to get a Union Jack on the ceiling in the lounge, with a couple of other different things to now I've got a painter coming in next week to kind of freshen it up, but I've got the rooms up above the pub and all that I rent out, so I'm kind of doing a wee bit of work between the two of them at the moment. Can upgrade and hit a wee bit, But I've been in, I've seen John's, seen where John's going to open up for the outside in the Gallant Pioneer, and it's going to be brilliant. It's a sun trap and everything. See, once he gets that up and going, it'll be absolutely fantastic for the Gallant Pioneer. It'll be great.
Exactly, especially down there as well.
And he's buying, and he's also buying a couch for me to sit on when I come down for doing interviews.
I'll get to that one.
Yeah.
We'll get to that one.
It looks sorry. I'll sleep on that.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
No,
so,
we're trying to get as much done as we can when it's shut.
Exactly. Got a comment here as well, Kenny, for Stacey Matheson. She is saying that she's still hoping for June, Kenny, as long as we're allowed out of Scotland. So she might be heading over to Lanzarote, my friend, but it looks like Stacey. So I hope that you can get away. But I think what they've said here in Scotland is I don't think there's going to be any sort of flights for us guys here to be leaving the country anytime soon. Maybe looking at October or November. I think that's me. I mean, I've had 2 holidays cancelled since this pandemic as well, and I have now rebooked for 2022. So I know by 2022 everything should be a go again. So we know that.
Can I just pick up on that? What Stacey's referring to there? Stacey's a good friend of the pub. Not that she actually drinks; she just drinks iron brew. But her mum can take a wee swally. Rona. Sorry, Rona, if you listen. What Stacey's referring to is the Supporters Club that was mentioned, the Lanzarote Oil. We had a convention arranged for June 2020, which we obviously had to cancel, and we've rescheduled it for June 2021. So we're, at this point in time, not sure if it's going to go ahead or not. So what we did have planned was we were going to do a Barca 72 night. Well, I'll talk in a future sense. We're going to do a Barca 72 night with Willie Johnson, Colin Steen as special guests. We'd hired a venue along the road with a 400 capacity. And then on the Saturday afternoon, we had a local football stadium booked. We're going to do a family charity fun day. Soccer's Big Scott was coming up. Scott Nisbet was coming up for Player Blanca.
Brilliant.
I know everybody's interested in how Scott's doing. I spoke to him Thursday. He's doing well. Scott was coming up to be the referee and basically just put the cones out, if you know Scott. So he was coming up to add his support. And then on Saturday night, special guests are Archie Knox and Richard Goff's flying over for America as well. So we had to. I know we spent a year and a half planning that. We had to cancel it in June. We've rescheduled it for this coming June. But obviously the clock's ticking, and we need to bear in mind, potential restrictions on all sorts of levels, not just our own country, but also back in the UK as well. So we're not sure at the moment, and we will need to make a decision on it at some point in time. So we're hoping that goes ahead in June. If it doesn't, we'll need to make alternative plans.
Our support club, Blackhill True Blues, we've had the end of season party cancelled this June here.
Right, yeah.
And we missed that last year as well.
Yeah.
So we've got a comment here that I popped up on the screen. Lynn Ogilvie, I can come up with an idea. Why doesn't everyone pay the local bar what they would normally spend in the bar? And this will help bars to secure their income money in the bar bank when it opens. Do you know? But that's the thing as well, Lynn, what you're saying there. Obviously, we know that things aren't the way they should be. People are furloughed. People are not getting their full wages. People have lost their jobs and these things as well. And I really, really sincerely hope that everybody does get back on their feet once this is all over, and obviously staying safe at the same time too. But as I said, Stan, it looks as if it's going to be a wee while, and you were talking about doing renovations and things like that as well. And we've seen Williams Bar, as I said, up in the Bristol. Where William is the gaffer in there, he's a manager. He runs it day to day, and he's put in dividers and these kind of things as well, big perspex screens and that. Stan, have you done anything like that doing at the Stonefield Tavern?
Oh, we had to do that, you know, and what to do at the start when the first lockdown was finishing in July there, the first thing I had to do was ask for an outside licence and use my car park. So a couple of the other people that own some businesses in Gallant helped us out with a couple of big canopies, tent stuff, and I fenced it all off just to get to maximise it as much as I could, you know. So my car park was maybe about 5 or 6 cars was took up with a couple of big tent type of things, all fenced off, and I had tables and chairs outside. But could you imagine now that they're saying you can open outside the new and saying but you can't sell alcohol inside? You couldn't sit out in that weather.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think maybe just it was lucky. It was just lucky with the first lockdown when we were coming out it a wee bit round about July time. The weather was all right and it helped us a wee bit. But that couldn't happen now. I mean, even going down that street now there, you see all folk queuing outside the butchers because they're not allowed to stand inside. That's even worse because the weather's horrendous and you've got all people queuing up to get butcher meat or queuing up outside, allowed to get inside them. They're going to wait outside a table outside. It's not good.
Exactly. Stephanie Napier, thanks for tuning in tonight. She's saying, Stan, I think my holidays may be in Blantyre at your pub and you can come to my caravan in Ayr. So there you go, Stan. You've got a wee invite to your caravan in Ayr if you fancy it.
By the way, I like Ayr. I like it. It's not bad. That's a good spot, by the way.
Just about, and Wilma did mess. I was looking at my phone now, so I wasn't being rude. Lindsay Glenn messaged me, says, "Stop looking at your phone and look at the screen." But it was Wilma messaged me, saying it's just been a pleasure being on. She's just having technical difficulties, so she'll come back on the next one, and she wants to say hi to all our customers that are listening in. Yeah,
so a big shout out to Wilma and the Ibrox Bar out in Benidorm as well, once again. So we've got, like, obviously, we've spoke about that as well. So we'll come back to John. Right, John, so if you are allowed to open, right, and it's saying May, but obviously we don't know what the restrictions are going to be. What will you have planned if you are allowed to open?
But it's difficult at the minute because it's just uncertain, isn't it? We don't know when. We don't know how many people are allowed in. We don't know, but we will be having something. Believe me.
And it's going to be huge. Is it going to be huge, John?
Well, our end of season party, like I mentioned before, get cancelled last week. We normally get 1,500 to that at the ice arena. There's normally 1,500 people, and it's mental. But whether we need to just scale that back in the pub and look at something there, but when it's possible, we will be.
Definitely. And Kenny, normally on a normal day, you've already told us how many people can fit in your terrace out there as well. If you are allowed and there is travel to come back, and obviously you've got that thing planned for June, obviously in May, it's the end of season. So on a normal time, what would you have planned for a title party out there?
Slightly the same as John, to be honest, but to be even more honest, sorry, I've been here coming up for 10 years, and the last time when I left in Shawlands, the time I moved over to Lanzarote, that was the last time Rangers won the league. So I've never actually seen Rangers win the league in Lanzarote because I moved abroad. It's partly my fault, maybe. So I've never had a title party here yet. So I don't know. It's obviously just really exciting thinking about it. But as John was just saying there, you can't get too far ahead because we could have plain loads of people coming in. But it just, your gut feel says it's unlikely. So at the moment, the people who are using the pub are pretty much people who live here, they're residents, they're locals. And we might have to just think about something on that scale. So I don't know is the answer, but it'll be as good and as big and as exciting as it can be. But it all depends on, what the environment's like at the time.
Exactly. And Stan, we'll come back to you because we know what William wants to do, and I know he'll touch on it yet again. But Stan, if it is a go, what have you got? What would you have planned for the Stonefield Tavern?
I'm going to Blackpool. I'm only
Brilliant.
I touched on it just before we went live there, James. We're writing a book myself and Stuart Thompson, my mate. We're doing a book. He'd had a successful book out last year. I don't know if you've not got a copy, I'll send you one. It was 10 games, and I get 10 players into the pub, and they all done a wee chapter on their best moment playing for Glasgow Rangers. And the book was brilliant. So during this lockdown, the twos were just talking to each other, come up with the idea, why don't we write a book with 30 Rangers fans travelling in Europe and getting their best story about travelling away watching the Rangers. And I've got John doing a bit for the Blackpool boys. We've got two or three guys from Northern Ireland. We've got a guy from New Zealand. We've got Australia involved. We've got Nasser involved. And we've got 30 good, big Andy Smiley, big well-known Rangers guys picking their best ever moment for travelling with Rangers abroad in Europe. So what my plan is for 55, if we get open, I'm going to have a launch and you'll all be welcome to come to it. I've got John Brown doing the forward, the book. So I'll have him doing, and I'll get another couple of players, and we're going to do a big launch for it, you know. I've been working on that, and as I say there, we've been doing Zooms with some of the fans, and some of the stories are brilliant, you know. You could imagine, and we're trying to keep it clean. I know a lot of guys that end up in the jail are divorced with some of the stories, but we've kept it clean. But it's been good. I'm enjoying it, actually. It's good. So I'm looking to do that, and I've been working along with John too. I'm going to do gigs with John to celebrate 55. We're in pub, we'll be doing it, and we've got also, just while I'm on, but we're going to do another game down in Blackpool, another Legends game, no this year, but next year, to make sure it is going to go ahead. So with 10,000 down there the last time, so a bit of work involved in it, by the way. It takes up most of my time once we start, but it's worth it.
Definitely. And William, what have we got planned for the Bristol Bar, my friend, if it is a go?
Listen, if it is a go, obviously due to restrictions, it will depend on that. Ideally situation, as I think we'll all feel, it's been a long time coming, obviously, win the league, and the fact to know we're hit with COVID and we can't open or restrictions. But listen, if I was allowed to open any restrictions, I'd shut Duke Street off. No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I would shut Duke Street off. Listen, but it all depends if we get to open. If we can, in Blackpool's open, we'll go to Blackpool.
There you go. Everybody's Blackpool.
But I listen. Bristol's got a kind of reputation for doing crazy things like bands on the roof and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what's got. There's loads what we can do, but definitely a spark in the roof. Well, we got last time. So.
No, definitely. I actually seen a thing going on Facebook there. A couple of guys are getting people together, and what they're wanting to do, believe it or not, is get a car rally for Lark Hall with about 1,000 or 1,500 cars with all the flags out it, and they're going to drive right through Lark Hall into Hamilton, into Burnbank, into Blantyre and Cambuslang and head to George's Square with about 1,500 cars, which I think will be absolutely manic, you know what I mean, with all the flags out and stuff, you know. Exactly. Some of the ideas that people are coming up with is absolutely brilliant, you know.
As long as everybody's staying safe, that's the main thing, and that's what we want to see. We want everybody staying safe, 100%. I mean,
seen a car Congo like stand. That just reminds me of going down to Manchester. Every car you do, that's that. Honestly.
Exactly. Kenny, we've got a wee comment here for you. It's saying, "Hi Kenny, it's David Nisbet. How have you found it since the restrictions in terms of people adhering to the rules, and how often are you having to turn folk away, Nizzy and East Kilbride?"
First, hi David. Look forward to a wee jamming session in the alternative pub that we had a couple of years ago. See that again, mate. Mostly people have been conforming, to be honest with you. The Spanish polos don't have the best of reputation, as anybody who's watched Rangers abroad or ever been near Spain before will know. So there's no really messing about, and I think the biggest problem we've had really is when tourists did used to arrive, because they can't arrive from the UK anymore or at present. A lot of people just didn't understand. It takes them a couple of days to familiarise themselves with what the local rules are. Do you know what I mean? So that's understandable. one of the main differences here is you at the moment anyway, and for the last wee while, you've got to wear a face mask on the street at all times. So if you weren't expecting that, it can be a wee bit of a shock. But to be honest with you, once you do it for a day or so, you forget. I think someone mentioned forgetting earlier on. You forget sometimes, and we've been doing it for a while, and you just get up and, like, for example, you've got to wear a mask going to the toilet in a pub. Sometimes you get up and maybe people have been, they're on holiday, they've had a few drinks and that, and no, you're letting you're here to enjoy yourself, and sometimes you forget to grab your mask. We're not the type of pub that runs after people saying your mask. You know, we would just rather say to people, listen, have a quiet word and say, man, just be hand signals, mind your mask type things. Exactly. Most people are cooperating fully. It just takes a wee bit of adjusting, I think, between country to country.
Exactly.
David, and also hi, Colette.
So we had a wee comment there for Peter Brewer. He's saying that my taxi will be flagged for title date in Blackpool. So John, if you see it, obviously that's obviously going to happen down there, and you will see it. It's going to happen here as well. You know what I mean? So everybody's down there. Like, we know that a lot of Scottish folks stay down like kind of Lancashire way, Blackpool way as well, and especially down there. That'll be nothing that's not seen in, like, for ages. You know.
Yeah. Tell Peter to take a day off.
There you go. I think you've just told him.
Aye, and tell him to stop. And tell him to stop charging me when I'm down there.
High rates, Stan.
Still fair.
She's like, she just sees him coming down, and it's like, right, that's it.
Stanley, you thinking of a Legends game back over in Lanzarote or anywhere in the Canaries? Remember you did that about 3-4 years ago. You brought the guys over. That was good.
Well, it definitely was, but I think if you've been talking to Big Nizzy, I think their bar's struggling a wee bit, which is unfortunate. The Blue Terrace bar with Carol on them. But when I was there and I went to your pub in January with Matt Falco and Graham Roberts and wee Charlie Miller and the goalie, I had a wee sit down and spoke away to Carol about it. And they're definitely interested in doing another one, you know, and I think it would be good because the boys loved it. That was a fantastic week. Brilliant.
It was, aye.
And even when I went in January, that was my last holiday there in Lanzarote before the lockdown there. And I took the boys to Goodbuzzer. We had a great time. Can I tell you a quick story? Am I right to tell me a quick story, James?
On you go, Stan. On you go.
But we're coming back from Kenny's pub that night. And I don't know if you've ever met Andy Gorham before and wee Charlie and that. They're always slagging each other all the time. All the time. And you know what it's like with the two of them, right? So the goalie was nipping wee Charlie as normal and annoying him all the way back to your pub. And we're in the taxi and we were sitting and we're getting back to Playa Blanca. And we're getting back and Charlie just turned out of the blue and says to the goalie, listen, goalie, he says, James Bond has got Judi Dench and we've got Judi Dentures. And I'm not kidding. I thought he was going to kill him, right? Because you know the goalie's teeth isn't the best, is it? So that was it for the rest of the couple of days we had left there. He wasn't too pleased. But no, I'd love to do another one again, Kenny. I definitely would. I'd love to come back here and do another game. It was great.
I think once all the restrictions are lifted and life does go back to normal, maybe it's a good idea for people to do things like what they never done before to do now, and basically just like live it to the maximum and live it to the full and get stuff like this as well. And obviously we know that 55 is on the way. It's a foregone conclusion, to be quite honest with you. And we know that we've heard lots of stories here in Glasgow that George Square's going to be filled and all these kind of things as well. Personally, I kind of see it happening because I don't think it will be allowed to happen unless the restrictions are totally lifted. But I think what they're talking about is here, especially in Scotland, they're talking about maybe we are going to still have to social distance away at least until the end of the year, especially as well with face masks, until they see the R number. I mean, I believe the R number they know here in Scotland is below 1 now. So I sound like the guy who stands up in the pod. What's his name? The guy, the chief medical officer guy. What's his name? Sound
Leach.
Like him. But, Jason Leach. I sound like him at the moment. But I just want everybody to stay safe at all times as well. And I mean, it's been hard for a few, like for people as well to go out, and people have been staying in quite a lot, and like dubious about going to shops and stuff like that as well, with like deliveries getting done to your house for like supermarkets. But
I think it's a credit as well to the Rangers fans and family, because I think if you look at I think it was the Bristol Rangers.
Lee Calder.
He set up the fly pass for 55, and I think it stands there like £59,000 and a pot of money. So clearly we can see what fans are behind trying to do stuff different. So we're never going to George Square, we're never going to turn up at Ibrox to try and get something different. So seeing the Red Arrows fly out Glasgow, I think would be amazing. Obviously to try and keep people in. And it's flying off the name anyway.
I think as well what you're touching on there too in regards to the Red Arrows. I mean the amount of money that's been raised by Lee Calder has been, or the Bears who've got involved, and Lee Calder put that up. That was an amazing idea, and I believe the Red Arrows are seriously considering this. So it is a good thing. I know they're only going to 15,000 that they're taking. So the rest of that money will probably be donated to charities as well, which is brilliant.
Fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. It's fantastic. It just shows what sort of support there is. I mean, sold out season tickets there again. 48,000 season tickets sold. Not being able to factor get into a game either. And a lot of people as well losing their jobs and still managing to. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, my heart breaks every time I see that cover over my seat and thinking I should be sitting there. I should be there, and like you're not getting the chance to go as well. But as I said, like everybody knows what's going to be happening in the future with your pubs as well, and when everything's all back to normal, Bears, I mean, go and support everybody's pubs if you can do it. I know you all will do it and get back to doing it. I mean, the Bristol Bar up in Duke Street's not that far away. It's a wee train ride up Duke Street if you don't come for the East End of Glasgow. I mean, Kenny's pub, Lanzarote, loads of Bears go to Lanzarote on holiday as well. Stan, he's got all his loyal following as well out there, out that neck of the woods, out Blantyre, Hamilton, Larkhall, Motherwell, everywhere. And as well with John, everybody goes down to Blackpool on holiday, and obviously as well with the Gallant Pioneer, it's packed. I mean, the last time I was there, it was packed as well. But as I said, we just need to show the support and the love once again, once everything gets back to normal. So we are the best supporters in the world, John. You better believe it. John Turner is saying we are the best supporters in the world. 100%. I agree with that. So we'll quickly touch on Rangers very, very quickly. William, we've had your thoughts in the last few podcasts as well. So now we'll come to John. John, thoughts on the Bears and the performances this season? Are you obviously happy with it? I'm happy with it, but is there anything that you maybe think that they could be a wee bit better at?
Well, funnily enough, on our WhatsApp group the other day, we were just talking. You know, we conceded 7 goals in the league.
That's crazy.
But see, when you dissect these 7 goals, about 3 or 4 of them could easily be prevented. It's incredible. It's never.
Correct.
I've never seen it in my life before with Rangers.
I know, it's great. It's great. And Kenny, we'll come to you. How have you? Sorry, John. We'll go to Kenny because I think he's got a bit of a curfew to kind of add here too. So, Kenny, do you want to kind of tell us about what you thought about the Rangers and how they've been performing this season, and how your overall take is in the season as a whole?
Absolutely delighted so far. Obviously, don't want to count your chickens, as my pals will tell you. It's my mantra, don't count chickens. But I actually thought last season we were going to do it around the turn of the year. I was convinced within myself, and obviously it didn't happen. And to see how they've gone this year, and to look at the league table and just think back and just look at some of these numbers, it is absolutely incredible. Some of the players have just gone to a completely different level. Tavern just one example, and we get singled out a lot. But guys like Kamara, you've seen how silky they actually are. It's just like a lot of things have surprised me this season in a really, really positive way. So, I mean, things are looking great. There's always wee things to improve. The first half of the season we were really spanking teams, weren't we? And then we've had a couple of 1-0s and all that. But then you're going to get that in a season. And as one of my pals here, Davey, consistently says, when Rangers were winning 9 in a row, we weren't thrashing everybody, 4 and 5-0 every week. We had some 1-0s and, goals in the last 10 minutes and stuff. It's just normal. So it is just normal. And for every week and every game that passes, when you see the amount of games that remain, for the the mob across the city and ourselves. You just can't help get a good feeling. But as I say, I don't count the chickens, but obviously I'm very optimistic about where we sit. We're in a really good place. I'll just leave it at that before I mess it up.
John, you anything to add to Kenny's thing with there? Getting to add to his bit of statement he's made?
Well, just with what I was going to say there, with the 7 goals we've conceded, you've got an own goal at third part for Edmondson. And when you look at it's all individual mistakes for the rest of them. And to think that you could have went with conceding less than 5, 3, maybe 3 goals, it's incredible. I've always been a big critic of Tavernier, but this year, Jesus Christ, he's been brilliant. And you've got guys like Steve Davis, Alan McGregor. Big Hollander's been there for 2 years and no lost a league game.
Mad. The guy's brilliant. Guy's great. Stan, on you go, John. On you go, John.
The stats are incredible, aren't they? Like Big Hollander, as I say, 2 years he's been there near enough. He's never been the losing side in the league.
I know. It's mental. It's just mental. Stan, you get anything? What's your whole take in the season as a whole just now? What players have stood out?
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Apart from not getting to the games, it's been absolutely fantastic. And I agree with Kenny and what John was saying. I wasn't a lover of Tavernier either. I was one of his biggest critics. I thought his defending was poor. And last season, when we took that dip, I was blaming him a lot for not getting back, and I was blaming him a lot for his crossing of the ball. And everything changed this year for him. And see, when we were allowed open in the pub, every time we scored, everybody in the pub looked at me as if to say what he said no. And I had to put my hands up and say, listen, you're 100% right. And what a change in the guy. And Steven Gerrard has instilled that in him. And same with, I mean, Golston doesn't get a lot of credit. Big Golston at the back's been absolutely immense. And he's making all our moves for the back. He's the diagonal passing and everything. Absolutely brilliant.
Aye. That's the thing for me as well. Where I sit in Ibrox, I mean, I've seen like the season's gone by, players running down that right hand side, and I turn around and I go, is it finished yet? Is it done yet? Is he buying? What's happened? And for me, Tavernier, like he's totally went another level. So Glenn Kamara, we're getting to see the best yet again. Yanis Hadji, I think Hadji's been phenomenal the last so many games. Joe Aribo again. I mean, there's a dilemma in the team at the moment for me. Who do you start, Hadji or Aribo? That's the thing with Roof and all that as well. So it has been absolutely just the players have went to another level, and I think it's what Steven Gerrard, Gary Mack, Tom Culshaw, Michael Beale, and everybody that's connected there in the coaching, the way that the players are getting managed, the way that they're getting taught, the way that they're getting trained, and just going to a different whole level. And I think having a coach such as Steven Gerrard being there is getting the best out of the players. I mean, I did touch on.
Well, James, I think it's good the fact that we've got that many players we can rotate the squad.
Yeah.
Every week in, week out, and the performance doesn't change. The way we play, where we'll have Hadji in the park or Aribo, the way Rangers play is consistent enough. So we can change the squad how many times we want, and we're still going out and perform the exact same way, which
exactly.
I think
is Exactly. You're right. Definitely. 100%. So we're going to pick a winner now of the painting. So I've picked a wee comment here. I think that it totally sums up our season as well. So it's going to Deke Johnson. Our stats this season have been phenomenal, and it doesn't get credit it deserves. So Deke, you've won that, my friend. So I'm sure William will be in touch with you. Just give us a wee DM on social media, and I'll pass all the details over as well. Yes, I do know who Deke is. He is James's dad. So we'll get that sent out to Deke as well. So well done, mate, on winning the Steven Gerrard signed picture. So Stan, have you enjoyed coming on tonight on the podcast for talking about Rangers?
Brilliant.
And have you got anything you want to say to the Bears
Thanks for the invite. Absolutely brilliant.
Have you got anything you want to say to the Bears before we head off?
Oh, just I hope we're all celebrating 55.
That's it. And John, all the way down in Blackpool, thanks for coming on. Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, thanks for the invite. Just like Stan says, just hope we can manage to celebrate it, because we've waited a long time for this.
Yep.
And Kenny, all the way to Lanzarote. Yeah, have you enjoyed yourself coming on tonight?
Yeah, I have. Thanks very much for the invite. I've really enjoyed it. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this. So yeah, I have really enjoyed it. And I'm glad that you offered me a resident spot off air. So I'd be more than happy to join you in the future. Just give you a shout.
Listen, we tell everybody who does come on our podcast. I mean, William came on a couple of times, and now he seems as if he's just wanting to come on all the time now. So yeah, every guest we have on, you're more than welcome. It's an open invite to everybody that does come on as well. And as I said, it doesn't have to be about bars. It can come on about talk about Rangers and these kind of things as well when we do a podcast.
This is the first ever podcast. It's featured bars as well. I think that's incredible, and especially having so many bars for like Kenny and Lanzarote there, John and down in South and Blackpool, and myself and Stan up in Glasgow and not South Lanarkshire. It's incredible, and it's good to get us together. And hopefully we can do more of these with different bars as well.
Exactly.
I think it's been good to promote the bars. We're all shut. We can all limited to what we can do. So keeping the bar's name out there and always supporting each other, I think it's the key part of this pandemic. Supporting each other and keeping our names and bars' names out there as best as we can and supporting each other. So I think it's been good, and we can get back on and with other bars. And if any bars are out there and want to get back, want to come on, I think they should get in touch and we can sort out and get more bars on the podcast.
Correct, definitely. It's been an absolute pleasure having you all on as well. So, Bears, thanks for watching once again the True Blues Loyal podcast. This is the first Rangers Bars for Gers, and hopefully there's going to be a lot more of bars coming on as well. And you did hear William. Wherever your bar is, reach out to Rangers Bars for Bears free promotions page on Facebook. Get in contact with William. Get in contact with myself at True Blues Loyal on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And as I said, Bears, once we hit 10,000 subscribers, you could be my chance of winning one of the brand new Rangers tops for this season. That is what we do here at the True Blues Loyal, to reward you for your loyalty and everything that you do, guys. So remember, stay safe out there. Hashtag be loyal, and we'll catch you back for another video after tomorrow's game against Hamilton. And hopefully it'll be another 3 points on the road to title number 55. So Bears, good night. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Make sure that you do not miss any of the latest content coming from the True Blues Loyal. There's only one way to do that. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, turn your notifications on, and also we're now available on iTunes and Spotify. Listen to us on the go when we talk all things Rangers. Hashtag be loyal, be True Blues Loyal.